All right, y'all. Happy Wednesday to everybody. Welcome back to the Coach Cool podcast. Working today in accordance again, just like last week with Mr. Brandon Malinowski and the Wave Media Company, setting off our social media series part 2 today, where we had some things lined up, had some hot topics that we wanted to discuss. But in the past or over the past couple of days, there have been some things that have been brought to our attention, some events that we want to publicize, some things that are hitting pretty close to home for us that we wanted to shed light on today. And yes, I think a lot of us could get a lot out of what we had to offer when it comes to the social media scene and what we had planned for today. But I think sometimes there's things in life that are more important than, social media or the plans that you had previously established. Sometimes there's some stuff that comes to the forefront that you have to shed light on and make people aware about. And that is exactly what we are going to do today. And that realm is going to be mental health today, suicide. Mr. Brandon Malinowski has been affected by that personally in his life. I fortunately have not, but I think we can all relate to the term of mental illness or suicide in some capacity. Maybe you know somebody or have heard of somebody that has been affected by that. And that is the case today. And we're going to shed light on Dominique Fisher and what he has going on and what his family has going on in remembrance of his name, in his glory, in his honor. So we want to touch on that. And Brandon's going to expand on that topic today. But again, I want to welcome you guys to the podcast. And we're really excited to shed some light on what we got going on with this foundation and how we're going to sponsor this thing and how we're going to move forward. So Brandon, take it from there, brother. Great to have you on. Again, as always, thanks for your time. And let's give the people some good words today, my brother.
Let's go. Thanks so much for having me, Coach Coob. It's always a blessing to talk to you. You fill me up with energy. My cup is full. I can't get enough of it, so thank you.
Yes, sir.
And you're right. Something came across our desk that we are passionate about, and that is the Fisher family. Kevin Fisher is a father of 2 CC grads, and he has remained close to the CC community. He is a champion for mental health awareness, and he is determined to beat the stigma around it. So there's a saying that goes, if you want to say something profound, chances are that somebody has already said it better. So to give you guys an adequate background on, quickly who Dominique was and why there is, a foundation named after him, and it's still going strong 10 years later.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you why that's happening. So I'm going to read this to you real quick. And if you want to get more information on this, we will link the website in the episode. But real quick, Dominique Fisher was a beautiful young man who loved life, family, people, and most importantly, God. He was an all-American kid who excelled at baseball, basketball, and football at his beloved Detroit Catholic Central High School. Dominique's signature smile captured our hearts while allowing us to see the beauty of his heart. His future appeared to be very bright until November of 2007, where at age 20, he was diagnosed with bipolar and schizophrenia disorders. On June 27, 2010, at 23 years old, we lost Dominique to suicide. The loss of Dom was a call to action for the Fisher family, specifically his father, Kevin. Kevin has dedicated a great deal of his time subsequent to Dom's passing, focused on raising awareness and overcoming the stigma around mental illness. Their mantra is one that's going to be familiar to a lot of you Detroiters, and that is everybody versus stigma. And that's what we want to try to get that movement going today. We want to breathe life into those words. The mission of the Fisher family and the Dominique Fisher Memorial Foundation is to provide access to educational resources and support to individuals and the families of those living with mental illness. They want to support local organizations dedicated to improving the lives of individuals and families living with mental illnesses. They want to help with suicide prevention, and they want to help parents who have lost their children cope. They want to offer hope to people. And the reason why I want to talk about this is it's so cool to me. They have a golf outing that they conduct every year, and that money goes to 2 places. One, as we all know, he was a Catholic Central grad. Part of that money, there's a memorial scholarship in his name, and that is a big portion where a big portion of those funds go to. The other is an organization called NAMI, and I believe it's the like National Alliance on Mental Illness. Forgive
Yep.
me. This is
Yep.
all coming across my desk today. And
Yep.
that's why I'm so fired up.
You got it, dude. Yep.
So the cool thing about this is a lot of these golf outings, they don't have the longest shelf life, but you know what's different? The Fishers are running this one. And that's why 10 years later, they're still going strong. This is the 10th anniversary. And, you know, there's a couple reasons that I want to make this big. It's the Catholic Central family. It's the fact that they're doing something I believe in, and they want to beat this stigma. And I think that this is something that, you know, personally losing my father to suicide, I think it's time that I start to take a more active role. I can't just be a bystander. I know that it's very easy to do that, and I've done that for 2 years, and I'm done. So let's do something about it. The golf outing is going to be in August. It's August 15th, 2020. It's going to be at Norfolk Hills Golf Club. And the Wave Media Company, we are going to be partnering with the Fisher family to promote the hell out of this event. I want this to be maxed out. I want golfers that can't golf and are bummed because there's only 144 golfers that can join. And I want people to feel left out. But there's non-golfers that can go too. So that's pretty cool. And the cool thing about the event, it's from my understanding, it's an 8 a.m. shotgun start.
Yep.
You get out there, do a round, come in for lunch, and have a good time. Enjoy the camaraderie, enjoy the networking, enjoy the community, enjoy the opportunity to honor Dominique. I've never met this guy. I never met him. But it means something to me that the fact that his family's honoring him 10 years later and people are still showing up, that's how I know this guy was special. And that's how I know that family's special. So we should treat it as such, right? So we're going to be helping out. We're going to be getting the word out. We're going to be, talking to the kids that have received scholarships from the Dominique Fisher Memorial Fund. We're going to be talking to, people that have attended and have them share their experiences over how much they've enjoyed the day overall. It's a really, like, from what I hear, and this will be my first time attending this year, it's a really well fine-tuned, well-run event. After lunchtime, you get back out there golfing, and they have a buffet style dinner at the end. They got raffle prizes. They got things you can auction, like bid on for an auction, things of that nature. From what I hear, it's been some pretty dope prizes in the past. So another thing that we do want to help out with is the sponsorships. We'll get more detail on, what the status of the sponsors are, but if you're out there listening and
For sure.
mental health is important to you and you are in a position to donate, do it. Let's go. Come on. I need you. We need you. Let's make it happen. Let's make the world a better place together.
Yeah, very well run. I have not attended myself. I know people who have. I know people who have golfed, who have not golfed, who have donated. Just been involved with the situation for the past 10 years. And exactly like you said, a lot of phenomenal things are going on with that. And just like you said, the shelf life of these organizations or of these groups tends to be, I think you said, on average 3 to 5 years. This thing is still kicking 10 years down the line. So you know exactly what type of people are running this show. You know exactly why they're doing it. Their why is that big. They continue to push forward, and they're making significant strides with this stuff. Now, B, let me ask you this, and I know we're talking specifically in regards to Dominique and the Fisher family when it comes to this particular foundation, but let's talk about the stigma behind mental health and mental illness, if you will, or just things in general when it comes to that. Now, I know you've been personally affected by that. Again, coming from someone who has not had somebody that I've known personally, kind of in this realm.
Amen, though, right?
Exactly. Amen. Right. Damn right. Damn right. Very blessed in that regard. Extremely blessed in that regard. But when it comes to maybe the stigma behind this stuff, or, I think when you aren't, or you haven't been affected in this realm necessarily personally, it might be a touchy subject. It might be something that you don't really want to speak on. I know I feel that sometimes because I don't want to be ignorant to the fact, for right or for wrong, what have you. But from your own personal experience, when you hear about this stigma, you just kind of hear the term mental health or whatnot? What kind of comes to mind? What have you learned about it along the way? And just generally speaking, how do you kind of feel about it all?
It's been an evolutionary process for me because admittedly, so my father, 2 years before he actually committed suicide, he tried to kill himself, and we found him. And that was, strangely enough, that was the first day that my girlfriend, who's now my fiance, met my father.
Wow.
The very first time she met him. And for me, it was like for the longest time, and like subsequent to my father passing, I was like kind of walled off from that stuff. It's like, yeah, okay, this this happened to me, but like, I don't need to be a champion for it. I don't need to be an advocate. I'm not trying to promote anything. I'm not going to be sending out posts of like the National Suicide Hotline and stuff like that. But the more I come to realize like how prevalent this is in our society, fact is, like, so many people are so unhappy.
Yeah.
And I've been there. Like, I've talked about it before on our show. Like, before I made this switch over to the Wave Media Company, I didn't know if I had depression or if I just needed to change my circumstances.
Wow. Love that. Yep.
And like, thank God, changing my circumstances helped so much. So before you just count yourself out, I'm not a doctor, but like what worked for me was, like, before I was going to count myself out, first of all, I talked about it. I told somebody that explicitly, like, I don't know if I'm depressed or if I need to change my circumstances. And second of all, I did something about it. I had the courage to do something about it, even though it meant a pay cut, even though it meant no like health benefits, even though it meant that I don't have a 401k and a pension anymore. And I'm better now. I'm making less money and I'm happier, but I'm working towards more money. So I guess I went on a tangent there, but like, I think that a lot of people are impacted by this, and those tough conversations, there's so much value in them because it's organic, it's raw, and you don't know who you're going to touch. We had a recent podcast with, or not so recent now, but we talked with Tanner Cipriano, who lost his father because he was murdered. I had probably 6 or 7 people that reached out to me and said, I needed that message. I needed to hear you open up about that. And I was like, shit, I've been holding out on this for 2 years and I could be talking about it. And it's not for me to get something out of it. It's that one. Even if I don't get a text, even if I don't know about it, if somebody somewhere listens to the message and they understand that they're not alone and there's options, and like, we're stronger together. We can beat this together. That's the mission right there, brother.
I love it. So, and I think we can even expand on that, right? When not even it comes to this particular subject, but just in general, when we're feeling some type of way inside, whether it's in our head, it's in our heart, it's in our soul, what have you, good, bad, happy, or sad, getting that stuff out and quite literally vocalizing it, whether it's talking to yourself, whether it's talking to somebody else, it's talking to a group, how powerful that act can really be of just vocalizing stuff. Because I know for me, when it comes to just my thoughts in general, when I vocalize them and put that energy out into the world, it helps organize my thoughts a little bit better. And there's something about keeping it inside and thinking it, whatever you think it may sound like in your own head. But once you kind of put that out into the world and you literally hear your own voice say these things that you were thinking, it takes on a whole new meaning. It takes on a whole new trajectory, again, for better or for worse, whatever. But just that act can be so beneficial when it comes to just about anything. And I feel very strongly about that too. So I appreciate that. And would you say just talking about it and just kind of voicing that stuff and being more open about it I know you said it has helped you in the right direction. Is that something that you've kind of, trying to be a little more purposeful with now when it comes to these situations that maybe you hear about or that arise, or what's your kind of angle on that?
May I speak candidly? I don't know if you have like a censored show or anything like that.
Please.
I kind of, for me, it kind of feels like I'm putting my nuts on the table, like I'm putting myself out there. But like, if putting my nuts on the table, like, for lack of a better term, helps somebody, it's like, I'm happy I did that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be like a champion for mental health awareness necessarily. Like, I just want to do my part. Yeah. Right. I know that this right here was like the first time since my father passed away that I see an opportunity to have an active role in something that I can make a difference, something that my team, something that you, because we're talking about it now, we're going to work together to help this event be successful.
Yeah.
Like, this is the way we can change it. This is the way we can help. So
Gotcha.
that's what I want to do. Like, that's what I want to do, man.
I love it. That's perfect. And I think you say, for lack of a better term, nuts on the table. I think that's just being transparent. It just really is, right? We're
How I
yearning.
feel when I talk about it, it's so unnatural to me. You shouldn't, like, in my head, it's like, you don't need to know what I'm thinking, man. You don't
Mm,
need to know. You don't need to know my vulnerability. Why would I give you that power? Why would I give you that? Well, the reason I should give you that is because whether maybe not you, but maybe someone can get something.
yeah.
If they can, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
like, I'm no expert. This is literally like, this is raw emotion based on my personal
No
experiences.
doubt.
And that's why I'm passionate about it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have a dad anymore. My dad didn't even want to talk to me about it. He lied to me and said he was okay.
Mm,
You know, and that was because he was strong. He was always my rock. And if your dad can't talk about it with you, think about how many people in your life might be struggling to find somebody that they feel comfortable speaking to.
yeah.
Like, just yesterday, like, I had some stuff going on in my mind, and like, I'm all good, but I needed to get it out, and I was not going to let that happen. And Michael Babbitt's made me. It's like, no, do it now. What's up? I'm not getting off this call. Do it. I felt better. Like, maybe, I don't know. And I don't know. Maybe we can ask the Fishers about this, but maybe being like a little bit more, persistent in like probing your friends. Like, think about like how much we actually take time to get to know each other. Maybe we need to be more mindful of the world around us. And I think it's funny because I think to be more mindful of the people around you and what they're thinking and what they're going through, it requires a great deal of self-awareness, right?
Yep.
So you need to be self-aware to be aware of others. And I think that that's something that I want to practice. It hasn't, like, an opportunity to, help somebody struggling, hasn't, necessarily come up. I haven't had that opportunity yet. And I hope everyone's okay and I never need to. But, you know, in doing this, maybe I can indirectly help.
Yeah. I love that. And you say, the opportunity hasn't arisen, but I think the opportunity probably has arisen. If you just want to look at statistics or just a numbers game, you probably have helped somebody along the way just by being you and being transparent and being empathetic to those different situations. And if you can do that, you're helping people already who maybe were going to get to that point, or maybe they are at that point, you help them get away from that point or whatever. So it just puts more onus in the ball back, not just in your court, but everybody's court, to be purposeful in everything that you do, right? You're helping people right now by speaking about this stuff. Or maybe you walk outside your door and you say hello with a smile on your face to somebody that's having an awful day, and you turn their whole day around by just being a phenomenal person for the right reasons and being purposeful in how you're approaching life. That's
Right.
how I see it. It doesn't mean you have to directly or be conscious of, of course, those situations may arise and that has to be the situation at hand, but just being purposeful in everything that you do, every word that you speak, every action that you, kind of put out into the world, that's doing what you're supposed to be doing. And as a
Right.
byproduct of that, I think you're going to set yourself up really, really well, which is already what you're doing, which is what you're doing right now. Maybe you don't say that's exactly what you're doing, bro. That's exactly what you're doing. And that's why I got a smile on my face, because I can feel that coming through the screen. Because, we're talking like this candidly back and forth and I can see it, but you're right on track. You're right on par, dog. You're right there. And I hope that I can be the same way for somebody else, because 10 years down the line, who knows? Maybe I'm in that spot and I need somebody else to pick me up. I think it's just, whatever. So what goes
Talked
around
about
comes
that
around.
last night on the CC Zoom meeting. We had, around 130, 150 people come in, and like, that's what we were talking about.
Yep.
Family. We celebrate together in times of triumph, and we pick each other up when we're down. And family's not isolated to blood. You're my brother. If you need me and I don't know you, you can be my brother. There's not even an application. You just got to contact me. Let's make it happen.
Yep.
Let's build a family. Let's build a community of people that show up, give a shit, and take the time to, be a brother. Whether you're a
Yep.
boy, girl, anything in between, be a brother. That's
Damn
what
right.
it's about.
That
And
is what it's about.
And it's interesting though, like I just had that thought, when you were speaking, Bill Withers said in his famous song, Lean on Me, God rest his soul. He said, no one can fill those of your needs that you don't let show. But at the same time, it makes me wonder, it's like, no one can see, like I can't see your needs if I don't look. So showing what you need isn't always verbal cues. It's the little things. So it's like, I'm asking myself right now, like, am I asking those probing questions to truly get to know the people like I spend my time with? Am I?
Mm.
I don't think I'm doing an adequate job of that. So that's an improvement area. That's an opportunity area that I'm going to take ownership over. And I guess I would encourage others to do the same.
Yeah.
So we got a couple call to actions today. If you can find it in your heart to find a way to support the Dominique Fisher Memorial Foundation, if you can find it in your heart to be more mindful of your surroundings, if you're somebody that needs help, if you can find it in your heart to ask for help, even if you don't know how. I don't know you, so there's no pressure. If you want to talk to me, talk to me. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's just find ways. Let's get creative about attacking a complex issue that is winning right now. It's winning. Mental illness is winning. We should be bummed. We should be bummed as hell, and we should want to do something about it. And life is largely about changing your small piece of the world, right?
Yep.
It starts with your community. So I'm not asking anybody to do anything crazy, but like think about your community. This is something that's happening in our community. So I'm going to try to do something about it. My team is going to try to do something about it. You're going to try to do something about it. And we're going to make magic happen. Like it's all about them baby steps. Who knows who we can help? And maybe at the end of the day, we're just golfing and raising money. But at the end of the day, we are giving a young kid an opportunity to have the same education that Dominique Fisher had. And we are giving others that, need resources, need organizations like NAMI to help them. We're providing funding for that. So let's get this money. Help us out.
Yep. No doubt.
And we're going to be having it's in the pretty new stage here, but I think that we're going to be having, Mr. Fisher, Kevin, and his son, Chris, who also graduated from Catholic Central. I think we're going to have him on the show, and we're going to have an open discussion about it. I think that would be helpful. I know that I might get something out of it.
Yeah.
And I hope that the listeners do too.
Yeah.
So maybe we do a collab for that one. We'll all do it.
There you go. Shit, I'm there. You name the day, the day and time, I'm there, dog. Even if I'm a fly on the wall, I'm there. I really appreciate that. And I appreciate the vulnerability. I appreciate the emotion. You got me emotional right now. I got goosebumps. Fighting back some tears because of, one, the Fisher family, two, you, and just thinking about everyone that's affected by this stuff and how we can almost certainly do a little bit better job at checking up on each other. And I think it's just being human. I think it's just taking time. It's a little bit of effort, but that effort and that time goes a hell of a long way when you look at what could transpire if we don't do that stuff. So, again, thank you, dude. I appreciate you, man. I love you, dog. And we will definitely figure some stuff out moving forward with all of this, but appreciate you. And we'll keep this thing rocking. All right.
Of course. All right, man. Let's close this thing out.
Yep. And to everybody else out there, appreciate you guys tuning in today. We very much hope you guys got something out of this conversation. Maybe it was just opening up a door or an avenue or a thought or perspective or pushing you in the right direction, whatever. We hope it kicked you in the butt a little bit like it did for us. And if it did that, then I think we did our job. We did this conversation and this show justice today. We are going to attach all those links that we talked about with the foundation and with the outing in these show notes. So if you guys are interested when it comes to maybe participating or sponsoring or just wanting to check this stuff out, please, by all means, do so. We would very much appreciate that. I know the Fishers would too. And with that, we are going to leave you guys for today. So seek perspective, seek some challenge as you go throughout the rest of today or the week or what have you. Rest assured that people love you out there. Have a conversation or two that might leapfrog you in the right direction like this did for us today. And with that, we are going to be on our way. Y'all have a great one. God bless you guys. Coach Cool.